Good morning, everybody. Or should I say good day? Is it the morning? Is it the evening? You don't know. You can see my basement though, so I apologize for the hot mess that we got going on down here. But we're going to kind of point at, hopefully, the muscles of both the arm, as you can see that we have right here, and Mr. Leg. So let me just get a little pointer here and I'll kind of start going through some stuff and hopefully the fates will allow me to point everything out to you that I can on this model. There are a few things on the arm and the leg that I cannot, just because I can't get deep into some of these regions here. But let's go. All right, so here it is. It's in its stand. And I'm just going to kind of keep it here for just simplicity reasons for me. All right. Obviously, this up here is this right here is the shoulder, the arm, the forearm, and obviously the hand. All right. So I'm just going to kind of work my way around here. All right. At least try to. I'm going to try to look at the screen, make sure I'm holding it right. Hopefully it's not too much Blair Witch for you. And then I'm going to be looking at the screen as well to make sure I've gotten through the things that I wanted to get through. So here we go. We're going to start up here at the shoulder. All right. This right here is the deltoid. Okay. The deltoid. I'm just going to kind of go and look on the posterior aspect here. Now we're looking at the upside down world here. All right. I'm going to take it out for a second here. Try not to shake it too much. All right. And here, if I come this right here, that's been cut away. Here's the spine of the scapula right there at my fingertip. All right. That's the spine of the scapula that goes out to the acromion out here. And this muscle right here that's been cut and removed, this is the trapezius muscle. It comes down and attaches down here into the spine of the scapula. And then right above it, we have a muscle that sits in that supraspinous fossa, and that's the supraspinatus. If I go right below the spine, I'm going to try to get this here. There we go. Okay. Here again is the spine of the scapula. I'm going to try to get a little bit more cord here. Okay. Again, here's that spine of the scapula that we got going on. And here, I'm going to remove the deltoid muscle, just so you can see it all. Sorry. Okay. Here we can see it completely underneath the deltoid, everything on this posterior border here of the scapula. And all of this up in here that I'm kind of making the outline with my pencil, all of this is my infraspinatus muscle. Remember, they were two parts of the rotator cuff. The other two are this one right here and one on the anterior side. This one right here is the teres minor. It's different from the teres major. All right. How do I know the difference between the teres major and the teres minor? Well, a couple things. One, minors are always smaller than majors. And minors are always on top of majors. They're more superior. And as you kind of see how this one runs, this one goes up and attaches around that humeral head. Where this rounded muscle, teres means rounded, comes down over here and goes nowhere near the head of the humerus. So that's how you could tell the difference between teres minor and teres major. If I turn it and see the anterior side, this is not as easy as you might think. We have this muscle on the entire surface there. All of that muscle right there, that is the subscapularis. And there's all of your rotator cuff muscles. You can see the teres major right there. And this little muscle that's been cut away, this is the insertion where the insertion for where the latissimus dorsi comes up and attaches. It's in the back. I don't have a model at home right now to show that off, so I can't show you what it looks like. I'm going to try to get one next week But that's what that one looks like right there, cut. If I bring it back to the front here, guys, you can see this muscle right here, okay? This big muscle right here, this is your pectoralis major muscle. And underneath it is the pectoralis minor, and they're trying to show that off there a little bit, but here's the pectoralis major. We have a muscle that you can see right here. I'm going to try to get this to stay here. Okay, I'm going to pull back a little bit. All right, right here is my biceps brachii, and there's two heads, and I'm not asking you to delineate a medial or a long and short head at all. All right, but there they are. But if you come right here and you see this muscle, okay, all the way up here from the coracoid process down, and it goes and inserts on the brachium. This right here is the coracobrachialis. I'm going to try and get my pencil here. And there's the coracobrachialis right there. All of that. Like I said, the biceps brachii on the front of the arm. The biceps brachii on the anterior aspect. Right here, we have one in the middle, and then right here we have one on the posterior side. This is your triceps brachii. There's three heads. You don't need to worry about them. But that's your triceps brachii, your biceps brachii. And in the middle, attached on the brachium, is the brachialis muscle. So biceps brachii, brachialis, and the triceps brachii. Now we're going to try to move down, keyword try, and look at the forearm. I'm going to try to situate this right here because I always go in a certain pattern, right? And I would suggest that you guys do the same thing as well. I'm going to try to get this to stay still here. All right. So here, I'm going to start right here. The first muscle right here that I generally start with comes from the brachium, and he travels all the way down here and attaches down into the forearm, the antebrachium, specifically the radius. This muscle right here is the brachioradialis muscle. If we come over here, okay, trying to kind of get all this to work for me here. Let me get all of my muscles here. Sorry. Okay. After the brachioradialis that we got right here, go across kind of this triangle region right here, and then we go to the next muscle right here. This is going to be your pronator teres. If we go right next to it here, see this comes up in here, and all of these muscles here in the anterior compartment are going to be some kind of flexor or pronator. And all of these are going to, basically be going from that lateral epicondyle and then going down and attaching somewhere specific. So all these are going to flexor components, like I said. This one right here comes over here, runs down. You can see it, that huge tendinous attachment goes all the way down, attaches on the radial side. This is your flexor carpi radialis. You have this one here. And you can see all of these all come from that lateral epicondyle over here, there in the elbow. This one comes down here and runs right through, right smack dab through the palm. This one is going to be, excuse me. Where am I at? Oh yeah, this one right here, sorry, is going to be your palmaris longus. So brachioradialis, pronator teres, flexor carpi radialis, going right to the palm, palmaris longus. And the last one, the last flexor is right here, okay? And this is on the ulna side. This is your flexor carpi ulnaris. As I continue around, now I'm into the posterior side, right? And now I am all on the back side, and all of these are going to be your basic extensors. The anterior compartment was all flexors. These are all extensors. All right, so we have this one, these two right here. This one is on the posterior side. Okay. All of these are extensors. So this one right here is going to be your extensor carpi ulnaris. It's only on the side. Flexor carpi ulnaris, extensor carpi ulnaris. As we continue around, we go to this one right here, okay? Because we're not doing extensor digiti minimi, we're not doing that one. But this one right here, if you just follow these down, if you can follow it all the way down, you can. And look, this one goes off and gives a tendon to all of these, 1, 2, 3. Not the little pinky finger, that's extensor digiti minimi, which is right here, which we don't have to know. But all of these right here go to the rest of the digits. This is your extensor digitorum. As we move around, we're going to see two muscles right here. We have this muscle right here. And we have, this muscle right here next to it. Trying to get this thing into the right position for you and make sure you can see it. All right. So we have this muscle right here. And it's smack dab right on top of this muscle here. This one here, you can see it has a much longer tendon. Tendon comes all the way up here, and you can see it extending all the way down. And then it gets lost. Well, it's not lost, but it's just underneath muscles over here. This one's a long tendon. So this one is your extensor carpi radialis longus. It's on the radial side, goes attached on the carpals. There you go, it's an extensor. It sits right on top of extensor carpi radialis brevis. Brevis means short, longus means long. Okay, extensor carpi radialis longus sits on top of extensor carpi radialis brevis. Two other, try to get this here for you guys. Two other muscles that you can see, or three other muscles, okay, that we can see on this aspect are right here. Okay. Yeah, let me put this down. Pause for a second, guys. We'll get this situated. All right, here we go. Here we have a series of muscles here. Before we get too deep, okay, because we're going to remove some muscles here and go a little deeper. But we have a muscle belly right here. A muscle belly right here. And then right underneath here, we have another muscle belly. But here you can see the tendon for it right here. And then the muscle belly just lies deep right here. This tendon right here, let me get my little pointer, okay? This tendon right here, coming all the way up, is your extensor pollicis longus. It's the tendon of the extensor pollicis longus. It's on the back side, posterior. Posterior is all extensors. It's going to the thumb, pollicis, and this is a long old tendon. Compared to this one, which the tendon is much shorter, here's your extensor pollicis brevis. This muscle belly is right here on the back side, but it comes around and follow the tendon. It goes all the way up here. It's going to be involved with abduction. Here is your abductor pollicis longus. Abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and extensor pollicis longus, the tendon of. All right. Now, let me focus here. I'll give it a second. There we go. Now, we're going to remove the superficial compartment and kind of go into the medial layer. Okay, there's a superficial, a medial, a deep layer really associated with this arm and legs when you're looking at them. This right here, this muscle is all of this muscle belly right here. Underneath these tendons coming down in here is all of this muscle, okay? This one is your flexor, because we're on the anterior side, your flexor digitorum superficialis. Goes down, causes flexion to all the digits there. If we take and remove it, there's one underneath it, and I'm going to point it out just for simplicity versions. But there is a muscle belly that is deep, and you can see that right there. And this is deep, and that means profound. This is flexor digitorum profundus right here. Okay. Remove these here. If I take and remove the brachioradialis muscle here, and we have another muscle that's deep to it, and it's right here. It's kind of this rounded muscle belly fibers that you can kind of see right here. This is your supinator. It's going to be involved with supination. Okay, now we're going to go into the hand for the last three here. We have one on this lateral aspect. Okay, and I'm going to let this kind of focus in a little bit here before we point it out. Maybe. Focus. There we go. This muscle belly is right here. This one right here. This one involves opposition. Opposition of the pollicis. It's on the thumb. This is your opponent's pollicis. It allows you to do that. So right here is your opponent's pollicis. If we rotate and look at the anterior side here of it, we have just a couple more. We have just a couple more. We have right here. This is that little web area, right? That little fleshy area on your hand there. This is involved with adduction. This is your adductor pollicis. Again, pollicis means thumb. And then lastly, we have the muscle belly, which is deep, but it's right here is the tendon, and it goes deep, and it's deep underneath here. This right here, this tendon going up, causes flexion. Okay, this right here is going to be your flexor pollicis longus, tendon of.